All right, it is time for a video I have wanted to do since Blade Show 2024 in Atlanta, and I'm just getting around to it. And this is the Knives Fast channel. If you're new around these parts, definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell. And for everyone, like and comment and stick around and have some fun on the channel. I got some extra stuff sitting back here I got to clean up. There we go. All right, so this is the Spyderco Bodacious, guys. I saw this at Blade Show, and I was very unsure of what I thought of it. And the reason was there were so many people at the Spyderco counter that I was in a hurry. It was the last day. So I only got like 10 seconds with it, okay? So I was unsure what to think, and I thought to myself, man, I would love to get that knife in on the channel so I can compare it with the one that you guys want it compared with. So here it is. That is the Bodacious, and that is my Shaman. Now, we're not comparing yet, but we're going to do it here in just a minute. Now, this knife comes by way of the knife joker, Travis. I got to hang out with Travis at Blade Show, and so I just reached out to him and asked if he was going to have these, and he offered to send me one. And I have, as you can see, been cutting with this and checking it out. And I'm enjoying this knife. So, guys, definitely go check out the Knife Joker. I will have a link to this knife down below. And pretty much anything on his website, there's a few exceptions, you can get 10% off with code KnivesFast10. Man, I cannot keep track of my codes, but they will always be down in the description, and so you can look them up, and if I screw it up, it's down there. But I believe it's KnivesFast10. Go check it out. Give Travis some looks at his stock. He mentioned recently that he's a little low on stock, but he's building it back up. So definitely go check, and this one is available right now at the Knife Joker. So let's move all this out, and let's see what we have here. So this is, again, the Bodacious. Now, guys, I think I'm going to jump. I'm going to give you a couple of things, like some knifey things, and then we're going to jump right into the comparison because I think that's the most important thing to do on this knife. So we have flat G10 scales here, and they're kind of a different feel. One of the things I complained about on the Shaman, and we'll talk about that in a minute, is it has very slick. These are super grippy. They're not checkered in any way. They are smooth G10, but they are very grippy. You have silver hardware. You can see we have a lanyard hole right there in the middle of the clip, just like the Shaman. But we have flat scales rather than contoured. Your clip is reversible, but it is not the 4-point clip like you see on some Spyderco knives. And we have a ginormous leaf-shaped blade with diagonal satin here in S30 VN, and it is made in the USA and designed by Sal, the owner of Spyderco. Now you have the Spidey hole, and I can middle finger flick this one. I can thumb flick it, and you have a compression lock. As you can see here, there's your compression lock. Well, can't do that apparently, but all you do is you've got a back liner lock basically, and you're just actuating it from the top with your fingers out of the way of the blade. Now, these knives are not super droppy. They're running on washers, but you know, you can get them going in a pretty good rhythm there. So that's kind of the, let me just do this. Lockup is about 25 or 30. No blade plate, no lock rock, okay? And by the way, it comes all the way out to the back spacer, that blade. And the biggest difference, what you need to know, what is the biggest difference in these two knives? You get more blade with the Bodacious. The two biggest differences are contoured scales on the Shaman, not contoured on the Bodacious, a finger choil on the Shaman with a shorter blade, and no finger choil on the Shaman. Now, one of the things I've always said is in the backed up grip, I still have plenty of room on the Shaman. When I choke up, I have a ton of room. So this actually makes a lot of sense. And people were probably saying that, get rid of the choil and give me more blade. And so that's what they did here. You've got plenty of grip here. And you end up with more because of not having the choil. The handle comes all the way up to here. And you can see you've got about, I don't know, almost a ½ an inch of extra blade there. And so that's the biggest differences to me. Now, I will say my Shaman, and it's funny, I was griping about this the other day, and now suddenly I can middle finger flick my Shaman, and I haven't been able to do it. So I don't know if I finally broke it in. I did put, as you can see, a bunch of oil in it a while back, so maybe it finally sat there long enough and loosened it up. But I can definitely do that. Now, as far as the thickness of the blade, they seem to be about the same. The taper to the spine is about the same. The thickness is where another big difference is. You can see the Bodacious is quite thinner than the Shaman. It's not a ton, but because you don't have the contouring, you don't have that bulge there. As far as cutting performance, which, like I said, I've been doing a bunch of cutting this morning, and they're both in S30. I would say the cutting performance is fairly similar. Now, you can also see the Bodacious. It's really not. It feels like the Bodacious is a taller blade, but it's really not. As a matter of fact, they're about the same, I guess. I was thinking, let's see. Yeah, the Bodacious is slightly taller, it looks like, in the blade. Just a little wee bit. Now, let's do a little bit of cutting with both, just to see what we get, all right? So here's my Shaman, and you can see, nice, flat ground, slicey cut, and we're really the same. I mean, I would say, actually, without the coating, I think the Shaman the Bodacious might slice just slightly better. But, when you look down at all right, let's see what it says the thickness difference is here. So you guys are going to have to give me a second because I have the Bodacious pulled up. So let's go ahead and go through the Bodacious specs. And then we're going to go look. I don't have a good caliper set, so I can't really do that on my own, but we'll see what it says here. So CPMS 30V and black G10 on this guy. Plain edge. Blade thickness 0.125, 3.2 millimeters. Let's remember that, and we'll go check on the Shaman, okay? Blade length 3.66, edge length 3.49, close length 4.63 with an 8.27 overall, 4.8 ounces. And we're going to screenshot this. Again, these are made in the USA and designed by Sal Glesser. Now, by the way, this guy is running, and this is where a lot of people have kind of got their noses out of joint, $262.50. Now, don't forget, you can get 10% off using my code and bring that down. A lot of people think these should be sub 200 with G10 and S30, and I can't argue too much with that. I will say, as I always say, it's made in the USA, and I don't know what Spyderco's costs are internally. Could it be a little lower? Sure, absolutely. $262.50, seems a little high, but again, you can save 10% off with my code. All right, now let's go. Let's look up a Shaman because I want to find out and how close the specs are here. So let's do this. Oh man. All right. So I just searched Shaman. Here we go. All right. And by the way, the black G10 Shaman is $270. So they seem to fall in line very much if you ask me. All right, here we go. So again, on the Shaman, 3.58 on the blade length, 3.12. So the edge length you've got, basically you've gone from 3.12 to 3.5 on your blade. And then the Shaman is about 0.5 of an ounce heavier. And your blade thickness is 3.7 millimeters. So there's your other big difference, okay? So this is 3.2 millimeters or 0.125, and this is 0.145. So the Shaman is definitely beastlier, and you could definitely feel a little difference in the cutting on the Bodacious. It definitely feels like it flows through the material a little bit easier. Tell you what, I brought this over here. So let's do a couple of rope cuts here and just see if I notice any difference here, all right? So here's one with the Bodacious, good clean cut. Let's do a second one with the Bodacious. Good clean cut, eased through there very easily. Now, thicker blade on the Shaman, man, really clean cut, maybe even cleaner actually. That's wild. Yeah, very clean. So no real difference there. Now let's just see. Yeah, Shaman gives you a nice chop here. All right, Bodacious. All right, nice chop. So again, they all both go through material very nicely. I would say in the slicing tasks, the Bodacious seems a little easier to pull through. Gosh, it's not much though, I will tell you. So it's funny that they still get a very sharp, very nice edge on both knives, and that even though when you look down at the Shaman, it's pretty clear it's a little bit thicker on the behind the edge, it still slices very, very well. So let's see about some conclusions here. Oh boy, this is tough for me. So I love the fact on the Bodacious that you get more blade. Absolutely. You got good jimping here, about the same. Yep, same jimping. I love the fact that you get more blade. I love the fact that the Shaman has contoured scales. However, I have always thought, and again, this is why everyone's out here buying skinny scales for their Shaman, because even with those round scales, the Shaman feels too thick. Matter of fact, that's the one thing we didn't really look at. Let's look at handle thickness. All right, are we not really going to give that? We're not. I can't find handle thickness on the specs, but it's safe to say that the Shaman is thicker. Let's see, we're going to do the eyeball test. All right, right there. So it is definitely more than half an inch. I would say like 5.3 or something. And the Bodacious is under. So like 0.47 or 0.48. So it's definitely thinner in the hand. So that starts to bring me to, do I really care that it's flat? Now, somebody's going to make contoured scales. By the way, this is going to be a long video. You guys buckle up. This is a Lefty EDC style video. I actually like the thinness of this, and it's chamfered enough. But man, if somebody makes scales for this that are thinner, I think I would prefer it. But at the same time, you can go get skinny scales for your Shaman. I just haven't done it yet. So that's interesting. Now, so the big difference there is the handle, and the big difference is more blade, and the big difference is this is thinner. Boy, I never thought I would say this, because you guys know I love a choil. I do. I love the feel of being right up here next to the blade. By the way, on the Shaman, this is one thing I've almost forgot to mention. Your edge dead ends right at the plunge. This one, the Bodacious, dead ends a little earlier. You are going to end up with a smile, in my opinion, when you sharpen. It's just the way it is, if you can see that there. Boy, I think if I had to choose, it would be really hard. But because of more blade and the fact that I can get right up next to that blade with this handle shape, and the fact that this is thinner, I think I might prefer the Bodacious just a little bit. And I know that's a surprise to some of you, and to others it won't be. But yeah, I think I prefer the action a little bit on it, whoops, as I screwed up. What are you doing, Casey? Oh, I know what I'm doing. There we go. The action's a little bit better on the Bodacious here, although the Shaman, it's really close. So you can't go wrong is my answer. If you like one of these now, I will do something really underhanded here. And I'm just gonna, by the way, I told you this was gonna be a long video, so buckle up. So I am gonna just tell you something really important here. If I had to choose between these two, I'd pick a Manix 2. It's the best of both worlds. Now, do I wish it had rounded scales? But the action on my Manix 2 is better. I still get this. It just ergonomically is great. Now, I do get more blade on the Bodacious, but there you go. But between these two, it is so close. You cannot go wrong for sure. So guys, I would love to hear what you think. And both of these knives, I believe the Shaman is also available at Knife Joker. So go check the link down below. I'm just going to cut some more while I talk because it's fun. Go over. I mean, this is just a great blade. It is a really good cutting blade for sure, although I keep messing up. But there you go. Really, really nice. So that is the Spyderco Bodacious. Thanks to our buddy Knife Joker Travis. Go check him out and use my code KnivesFast10 for 10% off. And I have made a giant mess here, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video for sure. And thank you so much for your support and for watching the Knives Fast channel.